Well, thank you all very much for answering the questions. I think we've had a very lively town hall here. You guys all answered very, very well. Thank you very much. We're now going to go to closing statements, and we will start with you, Mr. Connolly. 1 minute, sir.
1 minute? Oh, man, that's half time. All right, now I'm not going to talk about myself. The only thing I want to say is we had almost 70 different initiatives that we wanted to write, and I went around and I spoke to people and said, how much would you be willing to sign? And people were saying, not over 20. Geez, that's a lot of signatures. So we have 21 of them we're trying to put out there. We have our medical freedom one that says they cannot force vaccines. That was the number 2. Number 1 was replacing the Department of Education. We have, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
My mistake.
It's like peace to you too. Okay, now I think he means 2 minutes I have. So we have the most popular is replacing the Department of Education with a smaller Office of Education. The governor, whomever it may be, appoints the director. So basically, they're accountable, not like they are now. The next one is the Medical Freedom Initiative that says they can't force something on you. We also have an election integrity judicial panel with 3 judges. It will be made up 3 months before the primary election. So if there are any fishy things happening in the election, any of the candidates can say, hey, I think there was something fishy happening in this election, and they must see all of the cases before any of the votes in Nebraska can be certified. So that's kind of a cure-all to knock out a lot of the things in case we can't get the Secretary of State to fix a lot of those problems now. We have a lot of Second Amendment ones as well. We have one that's a full access carry concealed weapon. So if you walk into church and you happen to be packing, you don't get picked up and thrown in jail for it. It's like, hey, as the deputy back there knows, the law enforcement, they're the second responders. They show up to put the chalk marks on the ground. I want to tell you now, because we have about 6 or 7 different Second Amendment ones, I'm getting yellow paddled. I want to tell you a fast story. My sister went over to Israel. She went to an anti-terrorism conference there. They went in, sat down at the cafe. 2 Palestinians rode up on motorcycles. They had Uzi machine guns, and they were about to pepper the entire crowd and take everybody out. 7 people in the audience stood up, dropped them in the doorway. The Israeli army came by, saw the machine guns, the motorcycles, the terrorists. They thanked everybody in the restaurant. They picked everything up, and they left. But the people who are carry concealed weapon holders, they are the first responders, and the police department and law enforcement, they need additional help. Sign the initiatives. If you want to help volunteer, leave me your name.
Thank you, Mr. Connolly. Senator Lindstrom.
Yeah, first, I again want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and thank you for hosting the event. This is one of many, I'm sure, that we'll have over the next couple of months, and it's great that people are engaged in this, and I want to thank the candidates as well, and I appreciate it, having the dialogue. And I think we all have a lot of the same principles and values, which is good for Nebraska, conservative values and principles, and working towards making sure that Nebraska stays a red state. I think we all can believe in that. But it comes down to who's going to be able to get it done and be the tip of the spear in the fight to make sure that not only is Nebraska competitive, but remains a pro-life state, a conservative state, and leading the charge against the Biden administration and pushing back against federal overreach. And I believe there's 2 things that differentiate me. It's about next generation of leadership. You mentioned the DeSantis deal. A lot of governors across the state are pushing back, and they tend to be the governors who are a little bit younger, on the younger side. Know this, that as your governor, we will fight extremely hard to make sure that we do that. But it does take experience. And experience matters in this case, especially with the urgency that's going on in the state of Nebraska, not only from the tax structure, the economic development, school funding, all the things that we're dealing with, corrections, health and human services issues. There's a vast amount of issues. Else we could stay here all night talking about these things. But it does take experience to be able to maneuver through the unique system that we have in the legislature with the unicameral. And having 7 years in there, and dealing with that and passing bills unanimously and working with both sides and working with urban and rural divide, it matters in hitting the ground running to make sure that all these issues get addressed day one. And I would appreciate your vote in this, as I think all of us would, but I would appreciate your vote. If there is any questions, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, votelindstrom.com. But I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail. And let's go win this thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Lindstrom. Mr. Ridenour.
Well, again, sincerely, thank you so much for being here tonight. I honestly appreciate it. Appreciate you taking the time to hear us all speak. And I hope this evening has been informative for all of you. Again, my name is Braylon Ridenour. I am running for governor because, again, I believe we need to stop electing good people and we need to start electing the right people. The right person is a good person. But what does the right person look like? Somebody who has the tenacity, the passion, and if you couldn't tell, I'm quite passionate about this. The energy, the wherewithal, the experience, the presence of mind, the people skills to be able to change this state and put it on the right track to becoming better instead of kicking cans down the road. As an individual of the people, what does that mean? That means I come from the working class. I come from where 95% of Nebraskans are coming from. I feel I best represent those individuals. I don't come with any agendas attached to me. I am not in the pocket of anybody else but Nebraskans. I'm here because I'm living with my family who is here today. And when I'm done as governor, I will come back to living here with my family, hopefully in a state that is better after I leave governor than when I started. I'm here because I'm passionate about this state, about this country, and because I'm at a point where I can do something different. I can give you a different option as a voter. To put somebody in office that can be a true leader, that knows what we need to prioritize, will listen to the people and represent them. Listening to the people. If you have questions, reach out to me. I make it a priority to message you back personally at every opportunity because I want to have that connection with you. I want to understand where you're coming from. I want to know the issues that affect you are important to you. That continues now as a candidate, that will continue as a governor as much as possible. I want to hold more town meetings. I want that connection. I've traveled all across the state through my campaign. And I will continue to do so, continue to fight, and I will continue to represent you and stand in the way of our overreaching federal government and protect the state of Nebraska.
Thank you, Mr. Ridenour. Mrs. Thibodeau.
Thank you. And real quick, I just want to let everybody know I am not running away from you. I do have to leave right after this because they do have when you're running for office, we're all running to other events. So there's another event in another county I have to get to. But I really look forward to coming back to Cass County. And again, heartfelt thank you for everybody who has spent 2 hours on their Saturday listening to us and paying attention. Thank you, 3 gentlemen, for showing up. A big part is showing up and letting the voters get to know you. And I want to tell you, I'm passionate about this state, passionate enough. My husband and I moved back here because that's where we wanted to raise our children. I want my children to stay here when they get their jobs. I am passionate about this state because we are a family and we have the best people in the nation in this state right here in Nebraska. And I can use my experiences as a business owner. I have experiences with every level of government from city planning all the way up to the state level. I built my own business from the ground up. I have experience with DHHS. I have experience with regulation and unelected, unaccounted bureaucracies making it almost impossible to keep your small business open. And it's because a lot of those items were abdicated from the unicameral and gave these bureaucracies a lot of power, and it's making it hard for everyday Nebraskans to survive. We need to look at tax reform. We need to protect our children, and we need to focus on education. And we need to make sure that we continue to stay a free state, and we do not allow the federal government with their big thumb to come down and take away our freedoms. You need somebody who is bold. You need a mama bear, and that's who I am. Nebraska, I will treat Nebraska just like when my children need a mama bear to protect them. I will do that for you. I won't promise you that I will have every answer, but I will promise you I will listen to every Nebraskans, and I will ensure the right decisions are made for Nebraska. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Thibodeau.
For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Tracy Zarian. I am the chairman of Cass County GOP. And I am amazed by this crowd because I was told that we would probably not have very many people here. So you guys are awesome. Thank you for showing up. Thank you to our candidates for showing up. And we have some gifts that we would like for you to take home with you. And while these guys... What's that?
Do they have Snickers bars?
No, but there's lots of cookies back there. Just help yourself.
Haagen-Dazs.
While they're getting their gifts, my one thing that I hope as you're walking out the door is that you're confused as heck. And what I mean by that is that when you walked in the door, you had an idea who you were going to vote for. And because of this forum that we had tonight, I really hope you're walking out the door thinking, which one of these candidates do I really feel are the one that matches who I am and what I believe in. So I appreciate you guys very much, and I appreciate all of you. Make sure you do your research. I know prior to the 2020 election, you would never have thought that I'd be standing right here because politics was not anything that I was to get involved in. But here I am, here you are, here they are. So thank you very much.
Amen.
Say a quick thank you or something. You think that's good?
I think she got it.
Cool. Call it a night.
Thanks again, everyone, for showing up. Thank you to all of our candidates that showed up tonight. Please stay, discuss, have some cookies, and have a great evening. Thank you all.